You're entitled to a certain amount. And they are just trying to figure out what that amount is. I don't mean to sound cruel, but it wouldn't be fair to me to just give you tons of money. You got rich off my son, and now you're keeping all of his money. Sean kept his cool as he replied, I'm afraid business isn't that cut and dry, Miss Wallace. I paid for publicity, and I mean in all actuality, if I'm going to be straightforward, Miss Wallace, Chris probably owed me money. I won't know until it's all worked out. The anger in Miss Wallace's voice barely overshadowed the pain, or perhaps it magnified it as she uttered the only words she could muster up. You bastard. She probably said, you bastard. Sean didn't flinch. He just said, look at the contract. I am honestly trying to get him as much as possible out of it. But this is your company. This is your company. Are you serious? But I have investors, and I can't just take money that doesn't belong to him and start giving it away. Miss Wallace exploded in response. You know good and well Chris didn't owe you a damn thing. Sean stared her straight in her eye and unwaveringly and said, he would have started making a profit. He would have started making a profit after a few years. His money until his album sales paid for the studio time, music videos, publishing, and marketing would have come from doing shows. I'm sorry. He isn't here to make the money. I miss him. Her response was deadpan. Did you kill my son?
Oh, Lord.
Bitch. Miss Wallace said this.
Two things I am not. Boo-boo the fool and one of your little friends. Peace, bitch.
That's what Miss Wallace said. Two things I'm not, bitch. Boo-boo the fool and one of your little motherfucking friends. I'll say it for you, Miss Wallace. She said, did you kill my son? Momentarily, Sean was stunned into silence. She asked again, her voice quivering. Did you? He started. Miss Wallace, you should not be. She would not be redirected. Answer the question. I was not used to seeing Sean on the defensive. No, of course not. She looked at him with spite. The anger in her voice, enough to send shivers up my spine. As she replied with a menace only a mother can. I don't believe you, Sean. Sean looked at her with a sadness that I knew in my soul to be fake. Although looking at him without context, anyone would believe him as he replied, I'm sorry to hear that. Today, I know he was able to muster that false sincerity because he's a psychopath. Back then, I thought it was compassion. With no more words, Miss Wallace stood up and left. Sean watched her exit with disbelief, not knowing what to do. I placed my order. Dinner that night was long and silent. I feared for Miss Wallace's life. Sean is most dangerous when he feels threatened. No, she could not physically threaten him, but this threat was very real. If she goes public with her accusations, Sean's image would be damaged. I have felt for myself the extent he will go through in order to protect his image. Chapter 13. The fact of the matter is, Sean is a complete control freak. He is absolutely the worst. But of all the things he did out of control, this might have been one of the most despicable ones. We were in the bad boy office one evening, sitting in the lounge area, enjoying a meal. Sean was smoking one of those big cigars he liked when Faith entered and sat down with us. She seemed relaxed as she said, "Hey guys." I smiled. I never had any bad vibes from the marvelous Faith Evans. We never talked about the wild times the three of us shared at one of Sean's parties. Damn, you had sex with Faith too? Jesus. I gave her a hug. Hey girl, what's up? Sean smiled and asked, "Hey, what brings you out?" She addressed Sean saying, "Look, when you asked me to hook up with Chris, I understood. When you needed to control him, I felt honored that you would choose me to monitor." Bitch, oh my fucking word. Oh, oh, oh. All of this was one motherfucking charade. Oh my God. Oh, MG. Wait a minute. Hold the fuck. Wait a minute. When you chose me to monitor one of the most valuable assets, y'all said, read it again. Okay. Faith said she addressed Sean saying, "Look, when you asked me to hook up with Chris, Biggie, I understood. You needed to control him. I felt honored that you would choose me to monitor one of your most valuable assets. Chris is sweet." Sean laughed and said, "Honestly, I knew you would be good. Make the big man feel loved." Damn. I don't feel good about all this, Sean. Sean got that look in his eyes he gets before he blows his top. Faith saw it also. She treaded carefully. "Sean, you know I'm as loyal as they come." Sean leaned forward, unintentionally threatening, and said in a low tone, "Yeah? But Sean, Chris and I had a child together." Sean leaned back and he let out a deep breath. "I'm going to take care of you. You're not like Chris. You're loyal." Faith had a tear in her eye as she responded, "He didn't have to die." Damn, bitch. Wow. Faith knew. Faith knew. She said he didn't have to die. This is getting very touchy. Didn't she know? Did she suspect? Was this her trying to find out if Sean intentionally killed Biggie? I wanted to ask, but of course, there was no way of doing that. This is so crazy. Sean sighed and replied, he didn't. Don't get me wrong, I miss him. But he was leaving me anyways. Oh, no one cares about my pain. Classic narcissistic Sean. I know some motherfucking narcissistic people too. I wanted to ask, but of course, there's no way of doing that. This is so crazy. Sean sighed and replied, he didn't. Don't get me wrong, I miss him. But he was leaving me anyways. No one cares about my pain.